Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 10th of October 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to first cover our mapping topic, and after that we are going to cover the other important articles from the newspaper. So let us quickly see the list of articles that we are going to cover today. Okay, so these are the list of articles that we will be discussing in today's class. Okay, so with this, let us first talk about the mapping topic. So this topic I have included for discussion because it has been in the Hindu newspaper, this topic, which is Haifa. So basically Haifa port was in news. Okay, Haifa port was in news, and Haifa is name of a location. Okay, it's name of a location, and this particular location is in Israel. Okay, so Israel is, let's say, this is the Israel country, we can see over here. Okay, this is the map, shaded map is of Israel, and to the northwest part of Israel in the, let's say, this particular region. So this is the Haifa, this is the location of Haifa. So Haifa is a port city, we would say, right? It is a port, and then this particular port is in the Mediterranean Sea. So we can see it has maritime border with the Mediterranean Sea. So this Haifa port was in news. And also, since Israel and Palestine are in news, right, because of ongoing conflict, Israel has declared a state of war with the Palestinian Authority. It has declared a state of war with the Hamas group, right, that has, let's say, recently attacked some of the territories of Israel. So that's why we have thought of including Haifa. So Haifa is a port, right? It is located in Israel, and this port is there with Mediterranean Sea, as we can see in this particular map. So apart from understanding this, we also need to understand about the map of Middle East, because in the upcoming year, UPSC may ask a question directly from Middle East portion. Okay, so the thing is, in this map we have, let's say, the shaded green region that shows Europe. Then we have little, let's say, lighter green region which shows Africa. Then Middle East is in the middle, right? So it is in the middle. So it is Asia, Middle East. Now here, if we see to the western portion of Asia, to the western portion, so this, these countries like Israel, right? Israel is in a state of conflict, right? It is in a state of conflict with, let's say, with Palestinian Authority. Okay, so Israel and Palestine are, let's say, competing for the same territory. They are competing even for the same capital. Jerusalem is the capital of means earlier was the capital of Israel, but now they have shifted to Tel Aviv. But the thing is, Palestine and Israel are conflicting for taking control on the same territory. So that's why there are conflicts that are happening. And that's why this particular region is in news. We need to understand that Israel shares a maritime border with Mediterranean Sea. Okay, it shares maritime border with Mediterranean Sea. And then, how many countries border Israel? For that, we need to see the name of countries as well. So one of the country that shares border with Israel, we can say, it is Egypt, right? Egypt. Then we have this Jordan. Then we have Lebanon, okay, Jordan, Lebanon. So these are the countries that share border with Israel. Okay, then this is Sinai Peninsula, and here over here we have Suez Canal, we have Gulf of Suez. We have discussed about Suez Canal, Gulf of Suez, Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea in previous days discussion. So in your free time, what you can do is you can go through the entire map of Middle East, right? Entire map of Middle East, Asia, right? So over here, from anywhere, UPSC may ask a question in prelims exam directly. Okay, so that will be important. Okay, go through the map of Mediterranean Sea, go through the map of Red Sea, and also understand about Persian Gulf, and see the regions over here, see the countries, because there is a possibility of a question coming in prelims from this area. So having understood this, now let us understand the first topic for today. Okay, so what is the first topic? This topic is about Nobel Prize, right? We are talking about Nobel Prize in Economics. So the Nobel Prize in Economics for 2023 has been awarded to this lady, right? Her name is Claudia Goldin. So Claudia Goldin is a researcher, and she has been working with the Harvard University. So she is a professor in Harvard University, and she has been awarded Nobel Prize in Economics. And she has been awarded Nobel Prize for Economics for her work in the field of, let's say, workplace gender gap. So she has identified what are the reasons of gender gap in workplace. I mean, like, a female get lesser pay as compared to male, the number of female in workplace is less, and she has talked about like what are the reasons why there is a gender gap at workplace. So one of her notable let's say statement, one of her notable contribution is that the gender gap lies at the home, at the household level. So whatever disparity lies between men and women at the household level, the same kind of disparity is also reflected in the workplace. So this is what she has said, and she has done huge amount of research related to this. She has identified clause by clause what leads to gender gap in the workplace. Okay, so you can go through this article to understand little more on this. However, you need to remember that the Nobel Prize for Economics has been awarded so far to many people, and she is the third woman, right, who has been awarded in Nobel Prize in Economics so far, right? So this is the thing. So having understood this topic, let us now quickly go to another article. And before that, we will solve a question related to this. So this is a question for prelims exam. It says, with reference to Nobel Prize in Economics for 2023, consider the following statements. So they have given two statements. We need to go through these two statements and we need to identify how many of these statements are correct. Okay. So it says, it is awarded to Claudia Goldin to advance our understanding of women's labor market outcomes. Okay, women's labor market outcomes means gender gap at workplace. Okay, so this statement is right. Second statement, Goldin is the third woman to win this honor. Okay, Goldin means Claudia Goldin. This is her name. So this is she is the third woman as we discussed earlier. So correct answer would be option C. So both 1 and 2 statements are right. Okay, both 1 and 2 are right. So having understood this, you can go through the explanation in your free time, right? You can download this PDF from the description of the YouTube video, right? So having understood this, now let us talk about another topic. This says silence around the state's seizure of India's press. So this article has been written by a prominent author, and so this author has talked about the, let's say, like, the freedom of press in India. So let's discuss about this topic. Name of the topic is the silence around states seizure of India's press. So what is the core context of this topic? Like, what is the idea that we are going to discuss in this topic? Okay, so let's discuss about that context. The core context is freedom of press in India. Okay, freedom of press in India or freedom of press. So this is the core idea that we are going to discuss. As we understand that media or press is the fourth pillar of democracy, right? In democracy, we have, let's say, executive, we have legislature, we have judiciary. So they are three core pillars, and apart from this, the press or media is considered as the fourth pillar of any democracy, right? In India, the press has played a vibrant role since independence, right? Since independence, it has played vital role, and there is, let's say, like, there is freedom of press in India. And courts have also upheld the freedom of press from time to time whenever there were, let's say, issues that let's say involved media or media persons. So recently what has happened, right? One of the founders of this news click, okay, so there is a website right? There is an online website. It is NewsClick. Okay, so this NewsClick is an online news reporting portal. So the founder of this NewsClick and also the head of the HR department, they have been arrested. Okay, they have been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. Okay, they have been arrested by police officials, and like ED has, let's say, done a kind of seizure activity on their office. They have, let's say, taken away the mobile phones. Okay, even the smartphones of these people have been confiscated by the police authorities, by the ED. Now the question arises that whenever the government, whenever the state, right, in international relations, we name countries as a state. So whenever the state which has, let's say, all the authorities, most of the authorities working under it, so state is mightier as compared to any individual organization that is there in India or elsewhere in the world, right? So when the state is behind any small news outlet like this, and the state runs its machinery to, right, take into custody the founders or the people who are working in such media outlets, it raises the question of, let's say, freedom of press, right? It raises the question, it brings forth the notion whether the press is free in India or not. And the thing is, in this article, the author has given innumerous number of examples. The author has given many examples to showcase that the freedom of press in India is not so good. Means the author has also talked about an international report that is known as Freedom of Press Index. Okay, so there is an index. This index is known as the Freedom of Press Index, and as per that World Press Freedom Index. Okay, so there is a index, so I am going to write the name also, World Press Freedom Index, right? So there is a World Press Freedom Index, and according to this World Press Freedom Index, India's rank, right? If we talk about what is India's rank is 161 out of 180 countries. Means the freedom of press in India is very low. It is even lower than let's say Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a country we know, it is run by Taliban government, and Taliban are considered to be hardliner people, and they have, let's say, done brutalities over their citizens as well. But when we talk about World Press Freedom Index, it ranks India at 161 place, which is much lower than how it has ranked, right, the Afghan government, how it has run Afghanistan, right, how it has ranked Afghanistan. Now the question arises that is press truly free in India? So in this article the author has talked about that in long back the Supreme Court of India has given judgment. Okay, the Supreme Court of India has given judgment, and that judgment was related to ADM Jabalpur case. Okay, so ADM Jabalpur case. So in the ADM Jabalpur case, the thing is this is an infamous case, I would say. It is an infamous case. I mean, this case is for notorious behavior of the ADM, right, of Jabalpur. There the Supreme Court of India has reiterated that press is free in India and you cannot curtail the power of press. Okay, so the thing is in ADM Jabalpur case, the author said that, to speak in a plain manner, many question whether we are living through an emergency, with ADM Jabalpur being dead only in letter but flourishing in spirit. Now the thing is although in India the government of India has not declared a state of emergency now, but the thing is actually this is not in letter, but actually the author is saying that we are in a state of emergency where the freedom of press is being curtailed by the government using some notorious laws. For example, they have used Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, UAPA Act has been used, right, and UAPA Act has been used against press persons, against media persons. For what context? They have said that this NewsClick has got money from some Chinese authorities, and they are involved in prevention, they are involved in money laundering cases. Okay, so they have implemented UAPA Act, and they have implemented, let's say, like other acts, relevant acts to arrest the people who are part of this news click thing. So the thing is, the author says that like although we are not in a state of emergency, like in letter wise, but it seems that like in practice the government has imposed a kind of emergency in India. And the thing is, the author says that like the present government may not be having the courage to declare a state of emergency the way that Indira Gandhi has done long back, right? So the thing is, like the author says that now freedom of press is being curtailed through the state machineries, and they have utilized the provisions of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Okay, they have used Prevention of Money Laundering Act, they have used income tax authorities, okay, income tax authorities, etc., against press persons. And here they have given many such examples, like where the government has used such cases. Okay, so the thing is, in this article they have mentioned all of it. Now do we need to understand that like although the government is behind many let's say press outlets, media outlets, like there is one more case also, the case that is related to the present Prime Minister of India. So the time when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, so there we have seen a kind of this pogrom. What do we mean by pogrom? Pogrom is a word that says like organized crimes, organized genocide. I mean like mass killing of people by organized let's say authorities. Okay, so that has been done in the state of Gujarat. And after then, when the Chief Minister of Gujarat was asked that like is there anything that you could have done better in your capacity as Chief Minister, right? He said like I could have only done better in handling the media. I have handled everything well except media. Means the thing is like they are talking about curtailing the freedom of let's say press in India. And there was a BBC documentary, so like that was prohibited from being aired in India. However, that documentary was aired outside India, and after then there were, let's say, many cases of, let's say, chapemari in the offices, right? Many cases of raids in the offices of BBC in India. Okay, and they have used draconian laws that are in place. They have used the authorities like Enforcement Directorate. They have applied UAPA in various news portals. Okay, so in this article the author has given many such examples. So like all these things showcases a trend, the trend of curtailing the authority of the media, like reducing the freedom of media press in India. Okay, so this author has highlighted such concerns, and author has said India is passing through a transitory emergency as well as a marked phase of digital authoritarianism, which the higher judiciary seems unwilling to act against. So author is saying that like higher judiciary seems to be staying quiet. It is not acting against let's say like the manner that it should have acted. Okay, so having understood this, now let us understand about another topic. It says mental health and the floundering informal worker. So this is also a good topic. We are going to understand about this topic quickly. Okay, so like it will be a short topic. Mental health and the floundering informal worker. Let's discuss about this. So this, what is the context of this topic? Basically like we are talking about mental health of people. Okay, we are talking about mental health and well-being of people. So mental health is a very, very important topic. Most of us, most of the people, right, we understand about whenever like our health deteriorates, the physical health deteriorates. If you have, let's say, fever, if you have nausea, if you have, let's say, if you have met any accident, so you quickly understand that like there is some ailment with the physical health. How about, let's say, mental health issues? How about psychological tensions that people have? So in this article, the author has discussed about the mental health problem, right? And especially the author has, let's say, referred to the people who are working in the informal sector, okay? People who are working in the informal sector. What do we mean by informal sector of the economy? Informal sector of the economy, that is that sector where people are employed, right? People are employed, they get some wages, but like, these are not documented, okay? They are not documented. For example, some cases are those people like, who are household helpers, okay? Household help or house help. For example, cook, or if we talk about rickshaw puller, okay? So there are many people who are working in informal sector. So these are some prominent examples. However, there are other examples also. So informal sector has some characterization that these people are not provided with any kind of, right, social security measures. For example, they are not given ESI cards, they are not given, let's say, like, they do not have any kind of like insurance for their health and all, okay? So people who are working in informal sector, they are only, most of them are daily wagers, okay? So most of them are daily wagers, means like, they get paid for daily work that they do, right? So they do not have any kind of income security, they do not have any kind of health insurance, and that's why most of these people who are part of, let's say, informal sector, they go through a psychological trauma throughout their life. And like, there was a study that was conducted, and according to that study, that of the all suicides that are conducted by people, right, of all the suicides that are done by people, 26% of these suicides are done by those people who are working in the informal sector of the economy, okay? Who are working in the informal sector of the economy. That's the thing. So it's a grim picture. It talks about that informal sector people are not well protected by the state. So in this article, the author has talked about that informal workers, despite their significant contribution to the national income, are perennially exposed to economic, physical, and in turn mental vulnerabilities, okay? So they are let's say vulnerable economically, they are vulnerable politically, they are vulnerable physically as well. And the thing is, like, that's why they are also vulnerable to mental ailments, psychological problems. So that's why the government should think of coming up with such measures that can protect the, let's say, like, mental health of these people who are working in the informal sector, okay? So this is the thing. Having understood this article, now let us move to another topic. This topic says original sin. It says Israeli occupation of Palestine territories must end for lasting peace. Now let us discuss about this topic quickly, right? So this is also a very short topic, so we'll be understanding this topic quickly. So name of the topic is original sin. So what is the context of the topic? What we are going to understand in this topic? We are going to understand about the Israel Palestine conflict, okay? We are going to understand about Israel Palestine conflict. Now we need to understand that, like, long back, if we talk about 19th and 20th century, right? If we talk about 19th to 20th century, right? Long back, the thing is, like, this Palestine was a part of Ottoman Empire, okay? Palestine was a part of Ottoman Empire. So it was part of that thing. Later on, what has happened, the Jewish people, okay, people who follow Judaism, okay? So this Jewish people, what they have done, they have migrated, right? They have started migrating to, Palestine. And after migrating to Palestine, these people have started, let's say, demanding some kind of territory for themselves, okay, territory to settle, right? They started demanding territory for themselves. Slowly and gradually, these people, the Jewish people, right, they have outnumbered, okay, Jewish people have outnumbered means their population increased, right, as compared to the original Palestine people. And the thing is, in 1947, right, in 1947, the thing is like there was a war between Palestine and Israeli people, and Israeli people were backed by the USA and many other countries. So like, they have been, the Israel was, let's say Israel captured territory, okay, they have captured territory in, right, they have captured territory there in the Palestine, right, in the Palestine. And Israel has declared itself as a state under international law. They have declared themselves as a state in 1949, I guess, okay, 1949, they have declared themselves as a state. So Israel was recognized as a state in international law. However, what about Palestine? Palestine has been in establishment since time immemorial, but the thing is like they did not declare themselves as, let's say, state under international law. And the thing is like now slowly and gradually there have been multiple wars. There was a war which is known as Yom Kippur War, okay, there was a war which is known as Yom Kippur War. So that war was a 19-day war, okay, it was a 19-day war that was fought between Israeli authorities and Palestinian people. In that war also Israel has captured, right, Israel has captured many other territories, okay, it has captured territories of Palestine, right. Now the thing is like Palestine earlier was a big territory, but now if we talk about, if we discuss about the map of Israel, okay, let's say this is the map of Israel, Palestine is, let's say, like, constrained to a very small region which is known as Gaza Strip, okay, it is Gaza Strip, and there are some minute areas also. So the thing is like, and other areas, the bigger areas are now being captured by Israel. Now the thing is like, the people who are Palestinian people, so these people are supported by a group which is known as Hamas group, okay, they are supported by a group which is known as Hamas group. And these Hamas group, I mean like they are militant people and they have been declared, right, internationally as terrorist organization. But the thing is like this Hamas group people, they support the cause of the Palestinians, okay, they support the cause of the Palestinians. And so they fight for getting the entire territory as part of Palestine. So this Hamas group does not recognize Israel as an independent territory. They say that this entire territory belongs to Palestine and it should be handed over to Palestine. However, the Israeli authorities, I mean like there is a established government, right, which is like, people are part of this, people are voting to power the prime minister, right, and they are supporting this existence of Israel. So in this article they have said that this kind of warfare that is happening between Israel and Palestine, this warfare can be stopped only if the original sin that was committed by Israel is reversed. Means original sin is that Israel has captured almost all the territory of Palestine, right? So it should give back all the territory. If it does so, only then a lasting peace will be established in that region. Otherwise, peace will not be established. And what has happened recently? Recently, the Hamas group, right, the Hamas organization, they have, let's say, like, they have launched around 5,000 missiles within 20 minutes. And they have launched it after 50 years of this Yom Kippur War. This Yom Kippur War was fought in 1973. On 6th of October it has started, right? On 6th of October it has started. And recently on 6th of October 2023, they have, let's say, launched 5,000 missiles within no time. I mean like within a short span of time. So the thing is, the Palestinians and Israeli people, they are in a perpetual state of warfare. And if we have to control this warfare, the author in this article says that like they have to reverse the original sin that was committed by the Israeli authorities. Okay, that's the thing. So having understood this topic, now let us quickly go to understand another topic. This topic says the end of two-state solution. Okay, the end of two-state solution. Again, this topic is related to Israel-Palestine issue, right? The Israel-Palestine issue that we have discussed. Now the thing is, like in this article, the author is taking a different perspective altogether. Okay, so this is going to be another article. So I am going to combine this article. So the name of this article is The End of the Two-State Solution. Okay. So let me take another color so that you understand. The end of the two-state solution. Okay, so this is another article, another topic altogether. So when we talk about the end of a two-state solution, we are again talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict. Okay, we are talking about Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, since Palestine has launched huge number of missiles which has led to killing of around 700 Israeli people. So Israel has declared a state of war. Okay, it has declared that it is in a state of war with Hamas. Okay, it is in a state of war with Hamas or Palestine. That's the thing. Now what do we mean by two-state solution? Means in this article they have discussed about that, like, you know, that let's say this is the Israeli territory. Let's say, like, you know, this is Israeli territory. Here Hamas is located, Hamas, or let's say Palestine is there, and this is Israel. So the author says that, like, if they have to bring peace, one of the solution would be that, like, you know, the Palestinian people should be given some territory for themselves. I mean, like, as of now they do not have any recognized territory. So Hamas group is walking from this West Bank. This particular location is known as West Bank. So they are operating from the West Bank. So if they are given a territory, if let's say, like, if half of the territory is given to Palestine and half of the territory is given to Israel, so in that case, if Palestinian people, right, if Palestinian people declare that if we are given territory and then we will be in a state of, let's say, peace with Israeli people, so that will be a two-state solution. Means on one side there will be Palestine, on other side there will be Israel. However, the people, the voters, some people are there, let's say, like, you know, in Israel who have come to authority, right, who have come to power, and those people are hardliner Israeli people. So they are not in favor of ceding any territory to Palestine people. However, if they have to bring peace, there is a two-state solution that they can recognize Palestine, they can give some territory to Palestine, so that will be one solution. However, there will be another solution also. The thing is, like, this Palestine people, right, the Hamas group, they do not recognize, they say that Israel does not exist, they do not recognize Israel. So they want to capture the entire territory back. And if they want to capture the entire territory back, means, like, even after getting half of the territory, they are going to be more powerful than like they are now. And once they become more powerful, so they can, let's say, like, you know, launch other warfare also with Israel. So that's why people are, let's say, like, you know, suspicious that even if we think of ceding some territory to Palestine, they will be more powerful and they can, let's say, do further attack on us. So that's why they do not think of any like, you know, ceding territory to Palestine. And the thing is, like, Hamas or Palestine people want to take over all the entire territory, which the people of Israel do not want to give. I mean, like, you know, they do not want to annihilate. I mean, like, they do not want to completely give up their own territory. So they want to retain some territory. That's the thing. So as of now, a state of war is going on between Israel and Palestine. So, like, you know, in this article, the author has pondered upon a two-state solution. So is it going to be a solution or not? That is, let's say, like, you know, being discussed in this article. So the author says Hamas's spectacular terrorism will push back Palestinian statehood by a generation. Okay, so that's the thing. So author says that this kind of terrorist activity that is being done by Hamas, so it's going to push back the Palestinian, let's say, generations, because now Israeli people will be more concerned about their rights. That's the thing. Now we have another topic we are going to discuss about this topic. It says the state of India's scheduled areas. Now this topic is very important from the viewpoint of local self-government. Okay, so we are going to discuss about this topic. What is the name of the topic? The state of India's scheduled areas. So in this article, the author has talked about like what is the status of scheduled areas in India. And if we talk about scheduled areas in India, so there is an article in the Constitution of India. This article is Article 244 of the Constitution of India. Article 244 has some clauses. One of the clause talk about the 5th schedule, right? 5th schedule, and the other talk about the 6th schedule. Okay, it talks about 6th scheduled area. Okay, 6th schedule. Now what is the difference between 5th schedule and 6th schedule? Basically in 5th schedule, right, so they have discussed about those areas that are scheduled areas. These areas are let's say, like, you know, in both the areas there should be ST population. Okay, so there should be ST population. Okay, ST population. ST means scheduled tribes. Okay, ST means scheduled tribes. So when we talk about 5th schedule, so in the 5th schedule of the Constitution of India, they have mentioned, right, those territories which are protected, those territories which are given the authority to govern themselves. Okay, so self-governing authorities. So we will discuss what is the mechanism of the self-government. So these areas are everywhere in India in the 5th schedule, right, except, right, everywhere in India except some places. What are those places? Some states in India, and these states include Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Okay, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. So all areas that are self-governing, right, that are self-governing, they are across India except these 4 states. And in this 6th schedule, they have mentioned about those areas that are there in the state of Assam, in Meghalaya, right. Then we have Tripura and Mizoram. Okay, and Mizoram. So the thing is, like, you know, scheduled areas can be identified, can be recognized by the President of India under Article 244 of the Constitution. So the thing is, Article 244 of the Constitution gives authority to the President of India to declare any area to be part of 5th schedule or 6th schedule area. And once it is declared as part of 5th schedule or 6th schedule areas, the normal laws that are made by the parliament or state government will not be applicable on those areas, right? Those areas will be administered by the people, right, of those areas. And for that there have been some commissions also, right? So one of the commission is known as Debar Commission. Okay, so name of the commission is this DHEBER. So there was a commission which is known as Debar Commission. So this commission has submitted its report in around 1961, and this commission has talked about some criteria, right, criteria for identifying the areas that can be declared as scheduled areas by the President of India. And in this article they have mentioned those criteria. What are those criteria? Like, you know, based on the 1961 Debar Commission report, the guiding norms for declaring an area as a scheduled area are preponderance of tribal population means like there should be tribal population, then compactness and reasonable size of the area, a viable administrative entity such as a district, block or taluk, and economic backwardness of the area relative to the neighboring areas. Okay, so these are some of the criteria, these are some of the things that can be used by the President of India to identify the scheduled areas. So Debar Commission has importance, right, with reference to declaration of scheduled areas in India. So in this article they have discussed about the Debar Commission also, but the thing is like, you know, now here there are issues. For example, let's say like, you know, there like the government has used the clause. For example, let's say there is an area, then there is another area like this. So in this area, let's say 40% people are tribal people. So they say like majority of the people are not tribal. So that's why we will not recognize it as scheduled areas, the central government says. However, the Debar Commission report does not have any criteria of 40%, 50%, 60%. They have said that like, you know, preponderance of the tribal population should be there. That will lead to, let's say like, you know, identifying those areas by the President as scheduled areas. But the thing is, the President of India has discretion on this matter, and the Supreme Court of India has also given let's say a judgment related to this, and the Supreme Court of India has said that the identification of scheduled areas is an executive function and that it does not possess the expertise to scrutinize the empirical basis of the same. Means identification of scheduled areas by the President is an executive function. It does not encompass that the President of India is, right, an expert person in identifying through certain criteria or norms that this particular region belongs to scheduled area or not. Okay, that's the thing. So what is the thing in this article? They have said that like, you know, how are such areas identified and governed. So identification is done by the President of India. And if we talk about the governance of that particular region, for governance of that particular region, so the thing is like they create a kind of, let's say, authority that includes 20 persons, okay, 20 persons from scheduled tribes, okay, so 20 members from scheduled tribes are selected, right, to govern these territories that are let's say declared as scheduled areas. And the thing is like, it is the authority is on the governor, and the governor of the state can declare that a particular law or many law of the central government or state government will not be applicable on the scheduled areas, and they will be governed, self-governed by this committee that comprises of at least 20 members from the scheduled tribes. And the thing is like, they can govern their land rights, they can govern their financial relations, they can govern many aspects, right, and that is related to, let's say like, you know, local self-government. And related to this, there was a Bhuria committee in 1995, okay. So there is another committee, we are going to discuss about that committee. So in this article they have mentioned about that committee as well, okay. So what is the name of the committee? Name of the committee is Bhuria Committee, okay, Bhuria Committee of 1995. After that, the government of India has created an act which is known as PESA Act, Panchayats Extension to Scheduled Areas Act, okay. In short, it is known as PESA Act, right, PESA Act, or we can say Panchayats Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act 1996. So Government of India has created this act, right. So this act actually recognizes the scheduled areas. This act helps us to identify the authority of the, let's say like, you know, local self-government in these scheduled areas, okay. So this act, which is known as Panchayats Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act, actually helps them to govern themselves, okay, that's the thing. So in this article they have said that like, you know, that how we can improve the governance of these scheduled areas. So they have mentioned some of the measures. To understand more about this, you can go through this article, okay, that's the thing. So having understood this article, now let us move to another topic. It says, what is multimodal artificial intelligence and why it is important, right? So we are going to discuss about multimodal artificial intelligence, and this is the, let's say, main topic of the day also. So name of the topic is, what is multimodal artificial intelligence, right? And like the topic is long, what is multimodal artificial intelligence and why is it important? Now let us understand, we already know what is artificial intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence can in short be written as AI. But how about what is multimodal artificial intelligence, right? What is multimodal? Artificial intelligence means a kind of machine algorithm that is able to mimic the behavior of human, right? So it is able to reason intelligently, okay? So like, they can mimic human reasoning, okay? They can mimic human reasoning, okay? So they have the capacity of human reasoning and they are governed by what? Algorithms, okay? They are governed by algorithms. And some of the examples of AI is, let's say, Chat GPT or generative AI. This is one of the example of this. However, what is multimodal AI? In multimodal AI, in this particular AI, Chat GPT, so it recognizes the text input, right? It recognizes text as input and it gives text as output also, right? You write something in text format, it gives you output in text format. However, in multimodal AI, the inputs that we are going to give, right? The inputs that we are going to give in the multimodal AI, let's say like, this is multimodal AI. So the inputs that we are going to give, it can be in the text format, it can be in the speech format, you can give image as input, you can give videos as input, it can get sensory input, okay, sensory input like that. So it can have different sort of input, and this multimodal AI is going to combine together all the different forms of data that we are giving as input, okay? So it's going to combine all the different kind of data forms, okay, different kind of data forms it is going to combine, and then it will create relations also, logic between, let's say, text input, image input and all, and it will be able to give output in like one or many of these forms together, okay? So that is known as multimodal AI. So is the multimodal AI a distant thing that is going to happen in future? So the thing is, like, we already are in a phase of emergence of multimodal AI. So multimodal AI is being developed by various organizations across the world. In this article, they have, let's say, like, named few of those projects that are already running, right? That are already in running mode by different agencies or different organizations. They have, let's say, like, given the example of Google's, right? Google's multimodal AI. They have given the example of Meta. Meta means the parent company of Facebook. So they are also developing one of the multimodal AI. In this article, they have written some of the names also. One of the name is known as Gobi. Okay, so it is reportedly working on a new project called Gobi, which is expected to be a multimodal AI system from scratch, unlike the GPT model. Okay, so the thing is, like, one organization which is OpenAI. So this company, okay, so this OpenAI company, which has developed ChatGPT, so it is working on a multimodal AI project which is known as Gobi. Okay, so this is working on this, and also many other examples are written, right? For example, Whisper, like which can translate, okay, it can recognize speech in audio and translate into simple language text, okay, like that. So many other examples of multimodal AI is mentioned in this article. You can go through this article to understand about those examples also, okay. So Google has started working on it, OpenAI has started working on it, Meta as a company, they have started working on it. Then Dell E, right? So Dell E is a, let's say like, was also initiated, so that can convert the text to image format, okay. So these things have been started by different organizations. So multimodal AI is not very distant thing. We can see the emergence of multimodal AI very soon. So let's solve this question. It says, with reference to multimodal artificial intelligence, consider the following statements. 3 statements are given. We need to identify how many of the above statements are the applications of multimodal AI. So it says it is useful for video surveillance and social media. Okay, video surveillance and social media by summarizing videos in shorter, more concise version. This is right. Okay, this is one of the application of multimodal AI. Then it is essential for robots to be able to interact with the real world in a meaningful way. This is also right. It can be used to improve the quality of machine translation by incorporating information from multiple modalities such as images, audio, video, etc. So all of above 3 are applications of multimodal AI, okay. So correct answer would be option C. Option C is the right answer. So you can go through the explanation of this question, right, through this. You can either pause this video and go through it, or you can download the PDF from the description of the YouTube video, okay. That's the thing. Having understood this, now let us talk about another topic. This is related to economy, okay. This is related to economy. This is a short topic which is important for the prelims exam, okay. You just need to understand about some organizations that are releasing the data. So it says urban unemployment rate drops to 6.6% in Q1, okay. So here we are talking about unemployment rate. So to understand about unemployment rate, right, so we need to understand about what are the factors that are used to identify who are employed, who are not employed, and like, you know, who are part of labor force or not. So the thing is like a person who is working, right, is considered to be part of labor force. A person who is, let's say, actively looking for work and available for work, he is also considered to be part of labor force. But the thing is, a person who has left his job but now not looking for job, so he is not considered to be part of labor force. So those people who are not considered to be part of labor force, they are not included to calculate the unemployment rate, okay. Unemployment means a person who is actively looking for job but has not got a job, right. So that's he is part of unemployment. So there are various definitions, different kind of definitions that talk about labor force, that talk about employment and unemployment related data. So recently a survey was released, and this survey was conducted by the National Sample Survey Office, and name of the survey is the Periodic Labor Force Survey. This was conducted by National Sample Survey Office, and it has reported that unemployment rate in urban areas of the country has shown decrease during the period April to June 2023, okay. So the thing is, the labor force participation rate of persons like age 15 and above and the worker population ratio have also improved during the period, okay. So in this article they have talked about these data, okay. So we don't need to go through all these data, what percentage of people are unemployed, what percentage of people are employed. It is not important for the prelims exam. However, you can note down some important statistics that you can quote in mains exam. If you are writing an answer related to economy, related to employment levels, right, you can mention about this data, right. So this periodic labor force survey is carried by National Sample Survey Office, okay. You need to remember this information for the prelims exam. Which information? That this PLFS survey, periodic labor force survey, is conducted by National Sample Survey Office. That is important for you. Other thing is, let's say, is part of this this report itself, okay. Now having understood this, now let us quickly go to another topic. This ICMR means Indian Council for Medical Research, okay. ICMR is the Indian Council of Medical Research. It is constituting a team. It is, let's say, constituting a team, making a team of people who are going to start a multi-center research study to assess the effects of providing appropriate take-home food combination with behavior change intervention to ensure good complementary feeding practices that is nutritionally optimum to meet young children in nutritional need. Means this organization is making a group of people, right? It is, let's say, inducting a team. It is constituting a team, and that team is going to, right, work on doing research, right, related to take home food. For example, let's say there are Anganwadi centers. So Anganwadi centers, from there, let's say, food grains, or let's say, take home food is made available to pregnant women, lactating women, and also to younger kids. And if it is given, then those kids who consume it, so they become nutritionally well. And if they are nutritionally well, so they grow up well in the later part of their life. Okay, so the thing is, in this article they have talked about that, a baby who is between the age of 6 and 24 months, okay, between 6 months and 24 months, this stage of his lifetime is very crucial. Why it is a crucial stage or critical window? Because it influences the subsequent growth trajectory and heightens the risk of wasting, stunting, and undernutrition. So what do we mean by wasting, stunting, and undernutrition? So if we talk about wasting, wasting means a child who has grown but he is very thin, right? He is very thin as compared to his, let's say, he is very thin as compared to his BMI, body mass index, is very low. So he is very thin. That is known as wasting. Now, what do we mean by stunting? Stunting is another criteria, another thing. So when we talk about stunting, stunting means as compared to the age of the child, okay, as compared to the age of the child, the height of the child is very low, okay, height of the child is very low. So lesser height, the child has what? Lesser height, okay, as compared to his age. For example, a 15-year-old kid is this much only, right, very lesser height. So that is stunting. Wasting and stunting are the results of undernutrition, malnutrition, right? So when children do not get proper nutrition during their early stages of life, this leads to conditions of wasting and stunting. So in this article they have discussed about this. So this study will be conducted by Indian Council of Medical Research. Once again, go through the heading: Indian Council of Medical Research to conduct a study to develop solutions to remedy childhood undernutrition, okay, to come up with solutions to childhood undernutrition related thing. So having understood this, now let us see another topic. It says Gaza strife raises worries for inflation, fiscal math, rupee. See, Gaza Strip, we have discussed in the beginning of the article, is in the region of Israel and Palestine. Gaza Strip is, let's say, owned or controlled by Hamas group, and Hamas group is taking the side of the Palestinian people, and Palestinian people want to control the entire area of Israel, but the Israeli authorities do not want to cede any territory. Instead, they want to capture more territories from Palestine. This particular issue has been, let's say, in news because recently the Hamas group has launched a strike on Israel. They have killed around 700 people within few hours, right, of their, let's say, attack on Israel. So in this article, the author has talked about that although the fighting is happening, right, within that Israel and Palestinian region, but the thing is, like, it does have international repercussions. It is going to have ripple effects for the world. It's going to have, let's say, its effect on oil prices. So India, which is a major importer of oil, right, so India may witness a sharp rise in the price of the imported oil, okay. So in this article they have discussed about that the Gaza strife or the fighting that is happening in the Gaza area, right, the West Bank area, it raises worries for inflation, okay. So the oil prices or prices of commodities may go up, right, fiscal math and rupee. So, like, rupee volatility may also be seen. So in this article they have discussed about that thing. Okay, so we have already discussed about the let's say like Israel-Palestine conflict. So that's the thing. In this article, I mean like this is what is mentioned. Then last we have another topic. It says IRDAI issues norms on Bima Wahaks. Okay, Bima Wahaks. Now, what is IRDAI? It's a regulatory agency. Its name is the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. So this Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India regulates the insurance sector in India. It regulates the insurance sector the way that RBI regulates the banking sector. The Reserve Bank of India regulates the banking sector, we all know. Similarly, the IRDAI regulates the insurance sector in India, and they have issued norms on Bima Wahaks. Okay, Bima Wahaks. Bima Wahaks are like Bima Wahaks, the women-centric dedicated distribution channel to enhance insurance inclusion with a focus on rural areas. Okay, that's the thing. So it is a insurance for all goal. Bima Wahaks are expected to play key role in taking Bima Vistar or affordable, accessible and comprehensive cover mooted by the regulator. Okay, so they have released norms for these people who are going to, let's say like make the insurance products available to the rural people also. So in this article they have discussed about this step of the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. Okay, so that's all for the day today. Okay, thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.